early morning opening here at the home office before I get ready to do things for the day. I've already prepped the package but haven't looked in. We have a standby program, as Jim Ross used to say on Mid South Wrestling, just in case this one is going through quickly. And this was from July from Arizona. So I don't have any. Okay, this is another basketball program. Looks like the 1992 playoffs does come with a bag. Don't really. It doesn't look all that familiar to me. Doing this one-handed, it's the price that I pay for opening in live action, because doing this one-handed is not the easiest thing in the world that I've ever done. Sorry for a little spin there. Okay, let's see who the players are in this. This is, well, it's a Cavaliers from 1992. So some of this may look familiar to you from our Cavalier program from earlier. As you quickly zoom past the Gunn brothers, Wayne Embry. This is the Mark Price, Brad Daugherty, Lenny Wilkens era Cavs, where the other one was the George Karl World Be Free version. Lenny Wilkens, a very underrated coach. Won one world championship with Seattle. Assistant coach Dick Helm. Brian Winters, who was a very good player for the Milwaukee Bucks. Pete Newell, who's like the big man guru of the time, working with centers and power forwards. Cavaliers announcer Joe Tate, probably the best radio announcer for basketball I've ever heard. Yes, the Cavaliers themselves. Terrell Brandon, who was a very good point guard, overshadowed by Mark Price being before him. Brad Daugherty, Danny Ferry, Craig Elo, my beautiful wife's all-time favorite Cavalier, unless she's changed it and I don't know it. Larry Nance, Sr. There's Mark Price and John Hot Rod Williams. Then we go to the, if you remember yesterday when I did the playoff program from '85 that came up, they put the individual stuff from each team, and then behind it, it has it's a generic basketball program. Marv Albert's all-time classic, the 1992 draft. This is the Shaquille O'Neal draft, if I remember correctly. I may be wrong, but I think this is the Shaq draft. Because there's Alonzo Mourning. Walt Williams of Maryland. A little bit on the lottery. And early entry draft. Some Michael Jordan stuff. Pass on him. Oh, this guy here this is very nice. There is some loose clippings in this particular magazine. This is from the Cleveland Plain Dealer. See, this is why I like to open these up live, because you get to get live reaction. So this apparently is the Eastern Conference Championship program, which is so I'm guessing because this gentleman put in the clips here that this is game. This was from game 1. Or I'm sorry, game 2 of the series between the Celtics and the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers would win this series in 6 games, and it would be the last NBA game from Larry Bird. Well, there you go. That answers it. This is scored. So it is game 2. Boston wins this one, 104-98. Very neat writing. Really like that. A lot of people prefer their programs mint. I like them scored myself. That's always This is a very nice job done by whoever this was. I always, it's just, to me, it adds more character when the games are scored. Some story about the Paxson family. John, who I didn't like because he played for the Bulls, and Jim because he was a lousy general manager for the Cavaliers. Quote book, and then here's some look back at various NBA finals and some playoff stats for the upcoming Olympic Dream Team. Highlights of 1992. Yeah, and see, if you see the difference, I think like the middle of it, if I almost lifted it up, you could see that that's the part that comes in from the regular program. Then the process they staple it around to get for each team's local versions. This is the Cavaliers playoff fever. It's a couple playoff games that the Cavaliers series had been into at that point. And Jim Chones, television color analyst. Chones is now the radio color analyst. With Jim Johnson. I don't even remember who Jim Johnson was. Apparently Joe Tate did TV and radio that year. And then there's the Richfield Coliseum, which is now just it's a bird preserve, just an empty, you would never know it if you ride by it, but sometime I'm going to go out when I have time and pay my respects to a place that gave me so many memories. And there's a seating chart for the Coliseum. And we talked about the Tavern of Richfield on the other Cavalier media guide program pool, because it's the Cavaliers TV schedule at the time, which is not like it is today, I assure you. The Cavs dance team, always a must. And then the 91-92 schedule. A very, very nice magazine with added bonuses of the clippings, and the score kept very well. So a very nice pool for the Cavaliers. That's the series that they ended Larry Bird's career. So since this is a little shorter, we're going to fill in a little bit of time with an opening of wrestling programs. Wrestling is always very not as much to them, so we can do that quickly. This is the British Bulldogs dog Matilda, who was missing due to those dastardly Islanders, and Bobby the Brain Heenan. There's a picture of the various WWE superstars that at that time they had put out a video game for an arcade, and that's what it looked like when you went up to play it. Read it. Says, "Listen, Miss Elizabeth, just say no to drugs," from Billy Jack Haynes, who, yeah, good luck with that. Greg the Hammer Valentine, who wants a piece of cake. Apparently he's going after Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Save the Animal. This is some various Coliseum home videos that are about to come out. And then there's some talk about that dog napping between the British Bulldogs and the Islanders. They lost their dog. The WWF could be so lame at times. There's the Ultimate Warrior, as Vince McMahon used to always scream about. And then there's Jake Roberts as they shill for their magazine. Then you get of course, the catalog. More of that wonderful trucker hat that we saw the other day. Andre the Giant selling his hand and foot shirt, which I always thought was really bizarre. The WWF tie, we really needed that. And here's the cool ones. You can get the British Bulldogs in a long sleeve tee, and the Macho Man, Junkyard Dog, Ricky Steamboat, Strike Force. Oh, nice job. You just popped that out there. But oh well, it's just cards. But it's all live action. Billy Jack Haynes, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Bam Bam Bigelow, Coco Beware, including Frankie, Outback Jack, who lasted about as long as a hiccup. King Kong Bundy. I knew a guy that used to wear that shirt all the time. Jake the Snake Roberts. Then you could get your posters. Superstar Billy Graham. Elizabeth looking like she's getting ready to take her high school senior pictures. Latest edition, the Hart Foundation. Ken Patera, longtime favorite. This is when he came back as a fan favorite and didn't really get over. Oh, the Bolsheviks. Who could resist the Bolsheviks with Slick, Nikolai Volkov, and Boris, formerly Private Jim Nelson Zukov. And there's Ted DiBiase, who at the time was trying to buy the World Wrestling Federation title. And the various champions at the time, we had Hulk Hogan holding the world title. The Honky Tonk Man with the Intercontinental title. Sensational Sherry had the women's. Strike Force held the tag team titles, and the women's tag team title was held by the Glamour Girls. That didn't really last long. And then there's Jimmy Hart shilling for those horrible ice cream bars. Boy, they're terrible. My wife to this day talks about how crappy those are. We had them when they first came out when we were in Ohio. The ice cream truck rolled around the neighborhood, and I about freaked out. Oh my God, you can get the ice cream bars because you see them on TV, and they didn't sell them around here. And I took one bite into it, and it's like chewy. It was like, imagine if you took a piece of plywood off of your house and put a little slim layer of Cool Whip in between it. That's what the hell it tastes like. It's terrible. Keep an eye on The Natural Butch Reed, Rockin' Robin, Bobby Heenan, Ivan Putski, and then there was the Stretch Wrestlers, the WWF version of Stretch Armstrong. And then there's a dopey picture of the Ultimate Warrior who looks like he's just been asked what his name is. This card was on December 27th, 1987 from the now torn down Capitol Center. I think I went to this card with my dad, which must have been a real treat because he really always thought wrestling was stupid, and it turns out he might have been right. The main event, Hulk Hogan and Bam Bam Bigelow with a victory over Andre the Giant and King Kong Bundy. Greg Valentine with a pin over the Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Ted DiBiase pinned Ricky Steamboat. The Islanders over the Killer Bees. The Rougeau brothers over the Conquistadors. Outback Jack lost to Ron Bass, which meant they were really getting ready to phase Outback Jack out. And Barry Horowitz beat Jerry Allen. And we got a midget tag team match. I don't remember any of this. I do remember the Hogan Bigelow Andre Bundy match. Outside of that, I don't really remember a whole lot about it. A pretty unmemorable card, other than the fact that I knew my dad took me because I would have been 19 at the time. I had been to Capitol Center events driving myself, but I do remember Dad went to that for some reason because he really never liked wrestling. All right, well, that suits it up. Cavaliers-Celtics, 1992 Eastern Conference Final, and Wrestling from the Capitol Center from 1987. So I've got when I pulled this one, I pulled a second magazine or media guide / program off the pile. That's already been put into the case, so with some time at work tonight from the road office, we'll be able to knock another one of these out. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I know we're supposed to promote ourselves, so if you'd like to subscribe or tell somebody you saw this or whatever, if this interests you in any way, please subscribe, spread the word, etc., 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 and we'll see you next time.